right. Well, good Monday. No, make that Wednesday evening. Heavy Pour Sports, dropping the hammer. Tiffany and the hammer coming to you with a College World Series preview, basically, is what this is going to end up being. Regular season is done. Conference tournament, rather, is behind us, and now the field is set, Tiffany. We have 64 teams and 63 of them to go through to have a shot at another national championship, which seems pretty lofty right now based on the odds and whatnot. But let's be honest, this team finished pretty strong, winning the Texas and Oklahoma series and closed out an undefeated midweek season, which I know is not necessarily the heftiest of competition, but the Vols do carry some momentum going into this tournament. A little bit better showing in the SEC tournament. I felt better about it, but it is what it is. We are where we are, and we play who we play. So good evening, my friend. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. It has been a crazy couple weeks, but we've gotten there.
Yes, it has, and I hate that we've missed some time, but hopefully we can catch up on some stuff tonight. And
I will just say, I'm not upset. I was just a little disappointed that you were in Vegas and we couldn't go over the Texas series.
Man, let me tell you,
the one that we were most worried about.
I was trying my best to figure out a way to somehow pull that off, but I just couldn't without taking a whole bunch of stuff with me. I just didn't have a real feasible way to do that. So I do apologize. I'm sorry. That would have been a great fun time. At a little bit of expense of the Longhorns, but nevertheless, we can still kind of gloat about it, at least for another year. We see them again.
Yeah.
So with the regular season in the books, how did we end up? What were some standouts from the season from a statistical standpoint, from the all-knowing spreadsheet?
Yeah.
So we so tirelessly work to put together for everybody. So just kind of share some stuff with us there, talk us through how that looks and what, if anything, that might mean going forward these next couple of weeks.
Yeah. So regular season, we finished up with, that's not right. We finished up with, for home runs, not including SEC tournament, at 108 home runs on the year compared to last year, 120.
Okay, so not too far off the pace. We were considerably off the pace
for a while.
Part of the season. Yeah, it took a minute to catch up on that.
Yeah, so total of 547 runs for, 426 runs against in the year. The hits is a big one. 472 hits for. Or sorry, that was against. I read you the wrong numbers. Hits for was 547, 472 against, and then runs were 426, and runs against were 290. So we ended up. This was good because when we first added this to the spreadsheet, and I wish I could remember which SEC series it was that I added this to the spreadsheet now, but we went from like 75% of scoreless innings to 64% of scoreless innings in the last like month and a half. So that was good. And then keeping opponents at a 72%, 72.5% scoreless innings against us. So that was good to see. In SEC play, 202 runners left stranded. And 102 of them were in scoring position. So that is something to look at. Coons has been the most stolen against pitcher by far, with 14 stolen bases against. Next in line is Tracy with 6, to give an idea. So yeah. That was a big number. Abernathy with 9 stolen bases. I don't think that surprises anybody. Chapman with 7. Strikeouts on the year, we have Coons with 100, Blanco with 97, Mack with 77, Appenzeller with 59. And then, yeah, those are the big ones. So,
yeah, and Evan Blanco sitting there with 97. He should crack the 100 mark.
Yeah,
on Friday. So
I'd say, and then of course, Wright taking home the regular season hit by pitch championship with 16.
Is that like a black and blue dented trophy that kind of looked like the old WWE hardcore championship, just all kinds of scrap metal piled and glued together or something? That's what it should look like.
Yeah, I mean, it should.
When
we talked to him at, I think it was the Belmont game, he was signing our son's ball and he was talking about it and he was very proud of it. He told us he's broken his shoulder blade, broken some ribs. But he is very proud of that record.
Yeah. Well, it's battle scars and war medals to show off. So, because it's no fun getting hit by a baseball. I can tell you some of them are worse than others, but none of them are fun.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we end up getting the draw in Chapel Hill, which a few weeks ago I had said that would be, of all the places we could go, and didn't want to land in an SEC region. And I know that the committee does their best to not do that. Although if you look at the Eugene region, it's very interesting with Oregon, Oregon State, and Washington all in the same region.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the NCAA tries to keep SEC teams out of other SEC teams' regions for competition's sake, but also, I mean, let's be honest, TV sake. We know why everybody watches college baseball. So I don't hate it. I mean, yeah, North Carolina looks like they could probably be in the hunt. They're one of the shorter odds teams to take home the trophy in Omaha, but I don't totally hate it. There's definitely some worse regions I think we could have been assigned to, and we have history. We've knocked North Carolina out of the tournament a few years ago.
I will say North Carolina looked awful against Georgia Tech in the ACC.
Georgia Tech embarrassed them.
They looked awful.
So, yeah, I feel like the other teams, ECU and VCU, definitely, I feel like Tennessee's got a pretty good edge on both of those. Of course, we play ECU. We'll get to that in a second. But I don't hate the draw. Stinks that we didn't host, but I think that ship sailed long before we got to the Oklahoma and Texas series. So, yeah, it is what it is. But this team, if they show up, they can play with anybody, just about anybody in the country.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we can put it all together just for a couple more weeks. So we get ECU. They're the 3 seed. Tennessee's the 2 seed. Tennessee ended the year 38-20. ECU 36-22-1. I don't know what the 1 is, but weird. This is not a bad team. Won their conference. Have a 297 team batting average, 4.3 team ERA, but they've only hit 56 home runs collectively as a team. So it's not necessarily a big hitting team. They get on base a lot, and they do have a couple guys with some power, but they don't have anybody in double-digit home runs.
Okay.
They've got 2 guys with 9, but that's it. Nobody else is really even close. And I know we've got, 5 guys that have 10 or more?
We have Ford, Brown, Clark, Grimmer, Chapman, and then Marin's right there with 9.
Okay.
And Wright's right there with 9. So
okay, they should join the club Friday. So we'll say we've got 7.
Yeah,
speaking it into existence.
Grinlinger's got 8, so he's close too.
he could have 10 by the time it's over with. So one thing to consider with ECU and some of these numbers that are, I won't say inflated, but they're helped by the fact that what we're going to get doesn't necessarily reflect what ECU was regular season, because they're down 2 weekend starters. They're down a relief pitcher, and Ethan Norby, who is by far their ace pitcher, is out for the remainder of the season. He went out the first week of May and will not play in postseason. So we're sending Evan Blanco to the mound, 7-4 with a 4.94 ERA. He's given up 17 homers, has 97 strikeouts, as we said, allowed 15 extra base hits, walked 29 batters, and has a 232 batting average against. We've seen Blanco be really good and dominate. We've seen Blanco give up some beach balls and some dingers. Tell us about ECU's pitcher that we're going to face.
Yeah, so ECU is throwing Ryan Towers. He is a redshirt junior lefty, which is good, I think, for us. 53.1 innings pitched, 43 hits, 26 runs, 18 of them earned. He's walked 20, 42 strikeouts, 6 home runs, and a 3.04 ERA.
Yeah, and he's only allowed 5 extra base hits, not counting the home runs, of course. And only had a 219 batting average against. So he's stingy. Doesn't give up a lot of home runs, doesn't give up a lot of extra base hits. So that tells me that he gets a lot of ground outs, a lot of fly outs. He doesn't throw a lot of stuff over the plate that's easy to hit. So we're going to have to be disciplined.
I do just want to say that he has not thrown against an SEC team this year.
Yeah. And that's the other thing that I think that we need to keep sight of with some of these mid-majors, not all of them, because we've got Coastal Carolinas of the world. Excuse me. So it's not just like basketball, but it's going to be difficult for some of these mid-major batters because they're facing some very dominant pitchers that they haven't seen the likes of for the bulk of the year. And the speed is going to be different. The timing is going to be different. Everything's going to look different facing an SEC pitcher.
So, I mean, against like NC State, 2.1 innings pitched, 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 of them earned, 3 walks, 1 double, 1 home run. He had a 7.71 ERA in that game. So, had a loss against Rice.
That was bubble team NC State that got in ahead of Mercer, which I thought was egregious. But anyway.
Yeah, he had both a win and a loss against Rice. The loss, 6 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, 2 triples in that game, and 2 hit by pitches. The game that he took the W against Rice, 5.2 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, 1 double, and so he hasn't faced SEC pitching or SEC hitters. Sorry.
Yeah, and based on the numbers you just spewed out there, the majority of his extra base hits and walks came against better competition. The American's not a power conference in baseball. Let's just start there. So I feel like it's with Norby being out, I think he's legit could play in Power 5 baseball. Outside of him, I don't think they've got a true ace SEC level type pitcher on their staff.
He had a rough game against UTSA. This was back in March, but 5 hits. He didn't record an out, 5 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, 1 double. He had a 99 ERA.
Woo.
Okay.
Goodness.
There are 13 pitches.
He brought the gas can with him that day.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
13 pitches for those numbers. So
yeah. So I feel like it's definitely a pitcher that Tennessee can have some success against. Again, if they stay disciplined and don't try to just mash the ball to the moon.
Yeah.
And if Blanco is kind of on his game and got his pitches dialed in, I feel like this should be a comfortable win for the Vols. Now, there are a few players to watch for East Carolina. First of which is Jack Herring. He's a senior outfielder. He's got a .358 batting average. He is one of the 2 that has 9 home runs. He's walked 53 times. His OPS is 1.085. So this guy finds a way to get on base. He has stolen a few, but I think he's 2 of 3 on stolen bases. So he doesn't really run much. He just gets on base a lot. So that'll be somebody that we'll have to be careful with. Another player is Braden Burris. He is a pretty much do-it-all. He plays infield, outfield, primarily second base, and either left or right field. He's a sophomore. He's got a .346 average, only 3 home runs, but he has 36 walks, 916 OPS, and he is 10 of 12 stealing bases. So they do have a few guys that like to run once they get on base. He's one of them. Next guy is Davin Whitaker. He's a redshirt sophomore outfielder, .339, 9 home runs, 26 walks. He does have 40 strikeouts, but he also has a 1.01 OPS, and he is perfect on the year stealing bases at 6 for 6. And then the last guy we kind of want to keep an eye on, especially when he's on base, that's Grady Linehan. True freshman, outfielder, .306 average, 8 homers, 14 walks, a 942 OPS. He is 11 of 12 on the base paths as well. So they will run. They get on base, they will try to get around the bases. Fielding, they're a 975 fielding team. They have committed 51 errors. I think you covered most of the pitching numbers there, so won't do that. Collectively, they have 549 strikeouts. Norby has 120 of them. So when you start chopping that pie up, 20% of their strikeouts is from one guy that's not going to be on the field for them. And we ended the season with a .984 fielding percentage with 33 errors. And then, of course, you ran through all of the team stats from our pitching. So a lot of things point towards our favor in this matchup.
They are
kind of like the draw.
Yeah, ECU is 29th in the country in sack bunts. So we might see some small ball.
Very well could. Yeah, they're not a big home run hitting team. They've only hit 55 all year, 64 extra base hits, but they've walked 221 times. So they're very disciplined.
Yeah.
Play a lot of small ball, as you mentioned, and to be that highly ranked in sack bunts, like I said, they will find ways to get their guys around the bases. So we've got to be mindful of that. We can't just keep giving up, singles or bunts or stolen bases and just let them run wild, because we'll get ourselves in a hole, and we know we don't respond very well to that.
Yeah.
So, but I do like where we are, and of course with a win we would move on and play most likely UNC. I don't think ECU's got the horses to pull that wagon and pull off an upset, but it's college baseball. Anything can happen. So, but I would fully expect that we will see the Tar Heels in game 2 of the Chapel Hill region. So,
and we have Coons starting that game.
Yes. Which could be the best thing ever, or it could be a nightmare. I don't think there'll be anything in between.
That's the way this team is.
Yes, and North Carolina's got a stable of pitchers. They're very, very good pitching staff. It's going to be hard to beat them twice, and I think it's going to come down to that. I think we were going to have to be the ones to end their season, because I just don't think the other two teams are very, records aside, I just don't think they've got the horses to do it. And a lot of people were talking about how awful this draw was for North Carolina, and obviously us being there, that potentially could be a problem for anybody. But I don't know. I think outside of Tennessee, I don't see what everybody's in a big uproar for. You can't just look at records for these teams. Yet. Just what you did. You went through and you looked at some of the better competition they played, because that matters, and it's certainly going to matter come Friday at noon East on ESPNU.
Yeah, there was someone on X today comparing Blanco's stats to Ryan Towers' stats, and someone said, I'd say their competition is a little different. And he was like, I wouldn't. ECU's RPI was 40 and Tennessee 31. ECU's strength of schedule 43 and Tennessee 28. And I'm like, yeah, like that's a significant gap, actually.
Yeah, and it's not like college basketball where points is, some decimals being moved around. It's a pretty significant difference in competition. So,
yeah. So,
I mean, seriously, it's kind of like a really good AA team playing a major league team.
Yeah.
Anything's possible. Let me just reiterate. Anything's possible.
Anything is possible. We've seen funnier things happen.
Funny things happen in the world of college baseball for sure. So, in looking, I think I've got it pulled up here. I'm not going to put it on the screen.
Oh, so ECU's won. So they had a game. They had a loss to North Carolina, a win against North Carolina, 10-3. But this is back in February. And then they tied 3-3 one game. There must have been some weather there.
Had to be, yeah. And that was against North Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're 1-1 against North Carolina.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just beat them and let them beat VCU, put somebody out, and they'll feel good about themselves, and then one of the big boys will send them home for good. All right, so with that said, did want to kind of look at the bracket just real briefly.
And I'll just add this before you go to the bracket.
Sure. Yeah.
ECU didn't play an SEC team all year. So it's not even that Ryan Towers didn't pitch against one. They didn't play an SEC team.
Okay.
The closest that the highest competition they played was North Carolina and Coastal.
Coastal, yep.
Which they lost to and 1-1. So there's that as well.
Yeah, so not very good record against Power 5 teams. So, and I feel like we've got some momentum. They're down at least 3 pitchers. That's what I know of. So they're limping in a little bit, even though they did win their conference. Congrats. Enjoy the T-shirt. You can pick the commemorative. We got to play in a regional on your way out.
And we do have Chapman back. He is
That's right. Yes, saw that and was pretty stoked because that kid was playing with his hair on fire.
He was.
Before he took that ridiculously stupid luck.
It's the most Tennessee thing ever.
Gosh, man, yep, it really is. You're not wrong. All right, so for the most part, I think the region hosts pretty much went as everybody thought. I don't think there were any real surprises in there. There was a couple surprises for seeding, like I said, I'm really shocked that North Carolina State got in over Mercer, and Kentucky got in over Mercer, which I could see the argument from either, with Mercer not winning their conference tournament. But also, I've never seen, and Hunter Sampson and I talked about this Saturday, that never seen a team with the metrics that Mercer had not make the field. So that one kind of raised an eyebrow. It was a little bit puzzling to me with some of the other teams that got in. But other than that, I feel like they pretty much got it right.
Yeah.
That was
Arkansas was a little bit up in arms about it.
Yeah. I hate it for them, don't you? And of all the places, too, they get to go. They get to go to Lawrence, Kansas. Excuse me.
Kansas fans are learning very quickly about Arkansas fan base.
Oh, yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah. Enjoy that for the next few days, Jayhawk fan, because we get to hear it all the time. So, all right. So UCLA, of course, the number 1 seed, and rightfully so, even though Georgia Tech's probably a close second. A lot of people thinking that that's going to end up being our College World Series final. And certainly the odds reflect that, to kind of cross over into that world for a moment. This is per FanDuel. I know there's varying odds out there depending on where you look, but UCLA is a favorite at plus 420. Georgia Tech at plus 480. A little bit of a gap there for Texas at plus 800. Then you've got Georgia and Auburn at plus 1,200. Our host, North Carolina, at plus 1,400. And then that's it. Everybody else is plus 2,000 or higher to win it all. And that's a chunk of SEC teams there as well, with Mississippi State, Florida, Texas A&M all at the same odds. And then it kind of jumps up pretty much long shots after I would say after North Carolina. The rest of them are pretty long shot odds. If I had to pick one of that group, and I don't know why, but Mississippi State sitting there at plus 2,200 looks kind of intriguing. Hopefully it doesn't even come to that and they go home early, but nevertheless, got to think there's going to be an SEC team that makes a run in this thing and makes somebody uncomfortable up there at the top of the bracket.
I would think so.
But we'll see. We'll see how these early ones play out. So I kind of went through and picked some winners, and by some I mean I picked every winner in every region. Kind of bounce some of this off you, see what you think, and if you think that if there's another team that you think could jump up and cause some problems, or you think, no, you're an idiot, you're crazy, there's no way that team's going to knock off the host, and feel free. We'll start. I just kind of went in order of how I was looking at them at the time. So no particular order. I did start with UCLA. They've got a pretty cakewalk region. I do not see anybody posing a threat. West Virginia, they do have Kentucky, and they do have Wake Forest. I just don't think either of those teams are going to give them a lot of problems. Mm. Was that a or?
I mean, Kentucky's just so tricky, but I don't think.
I mean, outside of Jelkin, they really struggle sending good pitching out there. And I don't know that Binghamton is necessarily a power, but Wake Forest more known for pitching. They can hit, and West Virginia can just flat mash.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Kentucky to beat what will probably take beating West Virginia twice. And yeah. I just don't know if they've got the pitching to do that. Hitting, yes, they can get hot. Pitching, it's dicey. So, then, of course, Georgia Tech. That's Oklahoma could give them a scare, maybe. I don't know. I just think this Georgia Tech team is on an absolute heater right now, and I think they're going to steamroll their way through to quite possibly, even through the supers.
Haven't decided if I love that or hate that for Dylan Loy.
Yeah, I know. The soft spot in my heart, of course, pulls for those guys, but the flip side of it is now it really matters and screw everybody. So
yeah,
so we'll see. Now, my first upset is going to come in this region, and we just talked about it. The Lawrence, Kansas. I think Arkansas can win this region. I think Kansas, you had a great season, and I know you're feeling pretty good about yourself. I think you like your draw outside of the Razorbacks, and I know they've had their issues in postseason, but that Dave Van Horn magic to get at least to the Supers, I think still plays. So I'm taking Arkansas to upset and win the Kansas region.
yeah. I mean, I think they didn't end up hosting. Their strength of schedule was terrible, right? I mean, they didn't play a lot of. I mean, they didn't have the schedule that Tennessee or other teams had. Mississippi State.
Yeah, pretty weak Power 5 conference schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, but they got hot at the end. So I definitely agree with you there that they're going to upset.
Yeah, and I hate it. Nothing would make me happier than to be wrong about that one. But I think that's just where we're at with it. Then the Athens Regional, Georgia. I legit think Georgia's got a shot in this thing to go all the way. At least get to Omaha and probably make some noise there.
Unfortunately,
I do not see any of those teams giving them any problem. Mississippi State, I kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit by saying I like them sitting there at plus 2,200. I know Cincinnati's a good story, feel good. That's not a threat. None of those teams are going to threat. Oddly enough, Louisiana is the only team out of the state to make an appearance in the College World Series this year. I thought, surely that can't be, right? Surely LSU is in the field. My. Have the turntables turned. Then Auburn, of course, I think they probably got a very easy path. I think that all four of the top four regions are pretty soft.
Yeah.
The next one's the Lincoln region, and here's one, Tiffany. I think we got a noisemaker in this one.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of a long shot. I kind of like Arizona State here.
I was thinking the same thing.
So I know Ole Miss is in that region, and we just talked about the level of SEC talent and experience and everything that goes into that. But this Arizona State team sneaky. I don't think Nebraska gets out of this region. I think it's Arizona State. I'm going to save the North Carolina, the Chapel Hill region for last, even though it's next on my list. College Station. I think Texas A&M gets out of this, but Southern Cal has a pitcher, and if they have to face this guy, it's going to be a problem. And I had the kid's name written down somewhere, and I can't find it here on my notes, but I might be able to find it real quick. Maybe. Because it's wildly impressive. Let me see if I can find him real quick. Goodness. Wrong tab. I'll learn how to use this thing one day. There's a lot of stats in baseball.
Just a couple, I mean.
Yeah. Also, water is wet. Oh, come on. It's not going to let me pull it. NCAA quit updating your website. Good gracious. Okay, well, never mind. Google's free. You can look him up. But yeah, Southern Cal, they've got a pretty good pitching staff overall, but they've got a stud. Like, I don't want to say Paul Skeens level stud, but he's he's up there. I think he leads the country in strikeouts per 9, maybe total strikeouts. Like, the dude is legit. So possibly a road bump there, but I'm going to stick with the Aggies. Of course, Texas. UC Santa Barbara, they were one of my dark horse teams at the beginning of the season to make the field. They did, and one that could possibly make some noise. This is a terrible draw for them. Tarleton State and Holy Cross. I didn't even know you had a baseball team. Congratulations. You'll go home early. But, yeah, that's Texas for the taking.
Yeah.
Then we go to Eugene, where we have Oregon State, Washington State. We've got a Pac-12 reunion. And then just because it's so close to Eugene, they're sending Yale to that region as well. You know Yale's got to be pissed, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me that you couldn't have sent – I mean, goodness gracious. Could you have sent Tarleton State or – they got Holy Cross going to Austin. That's almost as bad. UC Santa Barbara could have easily went to Eugene, and Yale could have easily went to Austin, right? I mean, there's a lot of things that could have happened. You're sending Yale to Eugene, Oregon, just to get beat twice and then have to go back home. Shame on you, committee. I was just bragging on you. Then you go and do this. All right, ran over. I like Oregon State coming out of this region. I think they can take Oregon. And you know that this is going to be electric to watch these former foes reunite and kick it one more time, Pac-12 style. So I'm going to be interested to see that series play or see that region play out. Then we're going to go down to Tuscaloosa, where we have the Bammers that have Alabama State. They're in their first game. They will play likely the winner of Oklahoma State, USC Upstate. Tiffany, I'm going Oklahoma State on this one.
Oh.
I think they can take down the Bammers. Traditional power there, and I feel like they're playing some pretty good ball right now. I think they've got a shot. I think they can get them. The other two teams are just stand-ins, so they could have a game on TV. It's not going to be it's not even going to be close there. Then, of course, Florida State and Tallahassee, Florida and Gainesville. And then our old buddies down in Daddysburg. Southern Miss, the Mustard Pigeons. They've got Virginia. They've got Little Rock. And then they've got Jackson State. I don't think, Southern Miss comes out of this thing. I think they get to have their heart broken yet again. And I think Jack State's the one that's going to do it. Jack State was 8-7 against tournament teams this year. And they beat Auburn twice in midweek games this season. They're 2-0 against Auburn. I don't take this Jacksonville State team lightly. And Southern Miss, they always got their little tail feathers wagging when they're playing at the Pete. So don't know that we'll see a church bomb the way Blake Burke put one out down there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Jackson State is extremely live in this bracket. So Virginia, of course, could pose a threat and a challenge. Yeah. Jack State may have to climb out of the losers bracket to do it. But I think they can get Southern Miss. And I would love to see it. I was so hoping we would end up there, if I'm just being perfectly honest with you.
Yeah.
I
was good with there or Kansas. I was looking forward to those two. Yeah.
Lawrence as well. I felt like for or even Lincoln. I felt like Lincoln could have been a good region. Now Arizona State's there. That I would be more concerned about them than I was going to be concerned about Nebraska.
Yeah.
It's legit, perfectly honest. But so that means if I'm looking at the bracket correctly, should we get out of there, we will likely face Texas A&M. Our old buddies from a few years ago, we sent them home from Omaha. So keep that streak continued, and we punch our ticket straight into the College World Series. So who's if you had to pick somebody, if I were to ask you on the show live to pick somebody to win the whole thing, who would you pick?
I do think it's going to come down to a UCLA Georgia Tech final. I could see Georgia making a run for it, though, as much as I hate to say that. So, I mean, if it comes down to UCLA Georgia Tech, then I will be Georgia Tech all the way.
Same.
Yeah. Get Loy his second ring.
Yeah. And, you know, just because the volleyball players there too. What about a dark horse? Do you see a host team, a non-host team making Omaha? Who would it be?
Non-host team. That's not Tennessee.
It could be Tennessee.
I could see Tennessee getting hot, to be honest.
I could too. They went on a stretch, a hitting stretch there that they were just mashing, and we can just get good enough, pitching. Then I think they can hit with anybody.
Yeah, I mean, we make it past A&M. We're facing the winners of Lincoln and Auburn. Yeah, I could see Tennessee in terms of, let me see what else we got. I really don't want to say Arkansas.
Please, no. That just can't happen. We can't.
I mean, they've got injuries too, though, so.
They do, yeah, and I think that's why a lot of people thinking they won't, even if they win that, they're not going to be Georgia Tech. Let's just stop right there. That'll be the end of it.
Yeah,
for sure. A lot of people have counted them out though already. A lot of the experts are thinking that they don't even have a shot against Kansas. And I'm like, yeah, they do.
I think they have a shot against Kansas. I don't know that they'll beat Georgia Tech though.
Yeah, and they are. I mean, they're plus 4,000. So they're midway down the board, but that's a big drop off. Like I said, past the first 3, maybe 4 or 5 teams, it is a massive drop. So, and I can tell you from recency experience, Vegas doesn't build all those great big casino hotel and resorts and stuff out there from being wrong very often. So, have a hard time buying that. That somebody in that top short odds is not going to win this thing. So I guess other than Tennessee, because I think you and I both think that we can at least get to the supers. We get to the supers, things go right. Who knows? I can't say I expect it because I think we've seen too many times the inconsistency kind of pop up in some very inopportune times.
But I'm going to get my hopes up.
Exactly. So all we can do at this point is watch and hope for the best. So, but if I were to give you a team not named Tennessee that I think can go, I kind of like Oregon State to be a team that I think they could play with Texas. We've seen Texas have some issues, a little bit of struggle. That means they would have to beat Georgia. If I'm not mistaken, they were to get by there.
Yeah.
I think they would play Georgia. And that's not a very fun draw because we've seen them just absolutely demolish baseballs this season. I just don't know if I like anybody else's path.
The only other one that I
Once
could
they
see,
get
as
there.
much as I hate to say it, would be Ole Miss, but they'd have to get by A&M
Yeah,
again potentially. So
yeah,
they did have the regular season win, but I don't know if
yeah. They
so.
would. Let's see. They would play Auburn in the Supers, right? If Ole
Oh
Miss were
yeah,
to win, they would play Auburn.
yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
I don't see that happening. Yeah, we would get A&M if we were both to our advance.
Yeah, I was looking at it wrong.
Yeah. Then Florida, I don't care who comes out of Hattiesburg. Florida's going to win that. UCLA, Georgia Tech, there's nobody going to take them down till they get to Omaha. How do we feel about Coastal in Florida State's region? Do you think there's any hope there?
I haven't watched a lot of Florida State this year, but I mean, Coastal gets streaky, so it's possible.
Yeah, yeah,
And
they get hot.
FSU tends to choke, so
Yes, yeah, we've seen them choke
they're a choking hazard.
in postseason play before. So, and then yeah, see that maybe Oklahoma State. I know I said Oregon State. I think I like Oklahoma State better. I'm changing my pick
All right. Yeah, I could see Oklahoma State too.
because if they can take down the Gumps, they'll get at worst. I think Florida State, at best possibly Coastal, and I think they can play with either of those two. That could be, yeah. I kind of like. Let me change it to Oklahoma State. That's my dark horse pick
All right.
to get to the series. So, and I'm with you. I think it's really going to come down to Georgia Tech, UCLA. We could possibly have a Georgia Tech showdown to get there too. So some good fun matchups I think are in store in this tournament.
Yeah.
But the heavies are heavy for a reason. It is a top heavy tournament, and even though I threw out about 6 upsets, I really don't see too many really having a legit shot getting past the supers. So it's going to be fun. It's one of the most wonderful times of the year.
Absolutely.
As long as we're still playing, it's fun. So
Yeah.
well, anything else in the world of college baseball that we can?
Not college, but Nate Snead is moving on up to AA.
Yes.
He'll be playing with the Trash Pandas.
Coming right here.
Yeah.
Huntsville, Alabama.
They will be playing Chattanooga early June. I know. I haven't checked to see when Trash Pandas make their way up here yet. Let's see.
Yeah, I went to one of the games for the Knoxville series, and of course it rained. It rains every time I go. I started to think I bring the rain with me. I don't know, but yeah, sat through another hour and a half weather delay, and they finally decided that we're not going to be able to play this game. So unfortunately, did not get to. I'm always torn because I grew up. At the time, it was the Blue Jays at Bill Meyer Stadium, and I've seen the evolution and the change of the franchise over the years. But I don't know. Bill Meyer was special. My dad used to take me there when I was a kid, and I just got so many great memories of going there. As much as I will support and do support the Trash Pandas, it's tough to pull for you guys whenever we're playing Knoxville. So, but yeah, I'm gonna message Nate Snead and tell him I'm coming and I want a picture and a hug. So, Nate, if you get word of this or watching, know I'm coming, buddy.
There you go. Well, we might have to make our way down there, or he'll be here in August, assuming he's still in AA at that point. So August 11th to 16th is when Trash Pandas play here.
Okay, yeah. Well, as terrible as the Angels are right now, I could easily see them scooping up some AA guys by, well, maybe not that early, but certainly by end of August, 1st of September, I could easily see them scooping some guys up and bringing them in. So hopefully you get to see him, and I'm gonna go track him down and make him be my friend.
There you
So-
go. Well, we might have to make our way down there and go to a game with you.
Shoot, yeah. You know how to get a hold of me.
That's right.
We will make it happen. So, all right. Well, I guess we will call that a wrap. And hopefully we have a couple more shows before we call the season a wrap and come back next week with some good news. So,
Absolutely.
all right. Well, thank you so much, as always, for being here, for your time, for all the efforts you put in on the spreadsheet and the tracker. It's always fun for me, and I know a lot of people out there enjoy everything that you do and put out. So really glad you're part of this, and let's go get a few wins.
That's right. Go Vols. Let's do it.
Go Vols.